Our first guest tonight is a talented actress you know from such films as Mamma Mia and Mean Girls. She currently stars in Mank, which is in limited theaters and available on Netflix now. Let's take a look.
I need a favor, but you're gonna have to promise you won't laugh.
Given the state of the world, a tall order.
You're gonna. I just know you are.
I have got such a hangover right now, there's just a fighting chance I won't.
I'm being burned at the stake, and I am dying for a ciggy boo. There. God's punishing you. Watch those stairs. They're treacherous.
Every moment of my life is treacherous. Any last words?
Welcome to San Simeon.
Please welcome back to the show, Amanda Seyfried. Hello, Amanda. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I've got mini horses walking. I'm sorry. I'm just so distracted right now. My hair and makeup team are outside just like holding my horse, my mini horse on a leash.
Now, you've done a very unfair thing to our viewers,
Really?
which is now you're talking about something that's so much more interesting to look at than me.
I'm so sorry. I just can't believe, sometimes I just can't believe my life, and I think I chose really well.
Well,
Sorry.
now, are you actually, where are you in your farm that you can see mini horses out the window?
So we have my house, and then we have two barns. One is a non-working barn, which is where there's just what used to be stables where people stay, like 2 bedrooms and a big common area. And then there's a hay barn behind us, and then there's another barn where the horses actually go there. It's a working barn, and so they're just having fun.
How many mini horses do you have?
We have 2 mini horses, and then we have a pony and a donkey, and 2 like pretty large horses, normal horses.
So you have like all the sizes of horses.
Almost all. You would be surprised. There are a lot more sizes.
What's the order you go in when you start buying horses? Do you start with big horses and then you start talking about, oh, you know what would be fun is we got a couple mini horses. Like, is the mini horses the last purchase?
I think so. No, actually, the donkey was the last thing that we got for Christmas one year is the Christmas donkey. But I think it's just whoever needs a new place to live will take them in at any size. But you do usually start with big horses, I think. I mean, I inherited.
Be honest, Amanda. Did you get the mini horses thinking they were baby horses that were going to grow into big horses?
Like the pigs? No, I knew they were going to stay small.
I should point out a couple things because I do feel like, in this last year, a lot of people said, you know what, forget city living, I'm moving to a farm. But you've been farm living for a while.
Yeah, I'm old hat now.
Yeah.
We've been enrolled in the school here too. When your kids start going to school somewhere, they've got to kind of stay, right?
Yes. And you have 30 total animals.
No, like 23.
20, like 23? I feel like when you say 23, it's 23.
24 and a half.
Congratulations, in September, you had your second baby.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I didn't have him in a lobby, thank God.
Yeah. Well,
never.
I think even a lobby is probably, nicer than a bar.
You're right. No, it's good. I'm mesmerized by that story. It's so beautiful.
It's a pretty good one. Did you? How old is your oldest?
She's like over 3.5.
So what is she? What is a 3.5-year-old? What of your animals? Who is she most drawn to?
The donkey.
Okay.
Everybody's in love with the donkey.
And the donkey. I think we have a photo of the donkey. The donkey is Gus.
That's Gus, yeah.
I get it. What is it about a donkey that a child is drawn to?
I think there's so much surface area in his head. There's just so much space, so much fuzzy space to love on, maybe. It's very hard and flat and fuzzy, and horses don't necessarily have that much space. I don't know why that's the first thing I think of.
I will be honest. That answer is so much better than what I expected. That donkeys are beloved because of their head surface area. Because I believe it absolutely. As soon as you said it, I realized that is true. And this is clearly a person who is spending a lot of time with many different farm animals and taking stock of their head surface area.
Too much time.
You guys, and I'm assuming that when you're 23, it's safe to say you've got a few chickens there?
There were like 25 very recently.
Oh, that seems, I don't know, a little harrowing. Where are the
Yeah,
chickens?
it's-
Where, Amanda, where are
What?
the chickens?
In heaven.
All of you didn't
That's
keep
what I tell
any
my
of the
daughter.
chickens around?
What?
You didn't keep any of the chickens around? As just a reminder?
No, there are chickens. We still have more chickens.
Okay, gotcha. So just a
Just-
few made their way to the next.
Yeah, very coincidentally, 2 days in a row.
Oh, you lost them to, was it to like coyotes or?
No, I think it was an internal issue that they had. God, it's not even funny. I'm sorry. I use laughter to deal with the pain of grief. So
Yeah.
don't get me wrong.
Well, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Internal issues. I don't know why it's funny either, but I just feel like I'm learning a lot about farming, and I feel like if I used your words with another farmer, they might look at me sideways.
I'm not no, my caretaker, the woman who really does keep everybody alive, like when we leave for months at a time, thank God she's here. No, she looks at me sideways every single day.
Yeah. Classic. When you lose a chicken, as I learned from my farmer friend Amanda, it's probably internal issues. Hey, this movie is wonderful. You were so good in this film. Was it exciting to take on this role of Marion Davis, who I knew from the film? I did not know anything about her, the actress herself. Like, how far into the process did you realize what a great, juicy part this was?
Well, I kind of knew it was a juicy part, before I knew I was cast, because I had just read the script and I thought, God, what a dream role I didn't realize I had. And the idea of stepping in the 30s and playing somebody who I didn't really know. Most people don't seem to know much about her. And I got to tell you, really hard to find backstage interviews of her when she's just herself. Yeah, it's very daunting, very exciting, definitely the biggest challenge to date.
And you have David Fincher obviously directing it, and his reputation precedes himself. And most of your work in the film is with Gary Oldman. Was it an inviting set? Was it? Did you feel very taken care of insofar as working with somebody like that?
Yes, I didn't really have any expectations. I knew we were going to do a lot of takes, and that sounds a lot like rehearsal for a play. So bring it on. He's so supportive of his actors. He's so respectful. He knows how much we're bringing to the table. I mean, we're bringing his characters alive in his movies, and he's a gentle hand in guiding you through the moments and getting exactly what he wants without being a brute or anything like that. I felt very supportive, very warm. Gary and I have a great relationship. We worked together before. Our rapport definitely helped our characters and the connection there. And everybody, like, no one went to their trailers. They just hung out between takes.
You get to play someone in the 30s from Brooklyn. I don't know what counts as a Brooklyn accent from the 30s, but yours seemed pitch perfect. Did you did you enjoy it? Because it does strike me as a really fun era to play a character from.
Oh yeah, especially the real Marion Davies. She's from Brooklyn. She's kind of the deepening of the voice, and like slightly deepening of the voice, the slight accent. I never want to go too far in case it distracts people or it's bad. And yeah, she was so cool. It just not like I expected at all. And I haven't seen that many characters in that era. So
it was so much fun to watch. Again, this is a film that, if you've seen Citizen Kane, it's fascinating to watch a film about the seeds of making the film. Of all the movies you've been in, what would be the most interesting to base a movie on the making of about?
I think the hijinks of the making of Mamma Mia is enough to make a great fun movie. Mamma Mia has a lot of fans, and I feel like a lot of people come away from that movie feeling like they had just been on some wonderful vacation singing ABBA, and the truth behind the making of it was that we had more fun than you had watching.
That would be great. I would also watch a movie about how awful the making of Mamma Mia was and how it was just super depressing and nobody liked each other.
It would be really. That's actually the parody version then. That would be the
I'd watch them both. Hey, it's lovely to see you. I'm a little disappointed. I only heard you describe the mini horses. Maybe next time we can bring them into the shot.
Sorry, I even took a picture, but it's not very good.
That's fine.
So,
hey, thanks so much for being here. Congrats again on the film. It's so good.
Thanks for having me.